ever wondered what kind of leash you should use? There's so many different kinds out there, so many different lengths, so many different materials. There's leather, there's cotton, there's just all different kinds of leashes. So we're going to talk a little bit about what kind of leash you should use and when is the right time to use each kind of leash. What Tango has on today is just a standard 6-foot leash. It's a 6-footer, okay? So it's a 6-foot leash, standard length. This is for when we're just going to go out for a regular walk. We're going to walk through the neighborhood. We might go to the soccer park and watch the kids play soccer. Just a regular 6-foot leash. He can get far enough away that I don't have to be right up on him, and he can wander around a little bit. I don't want him to go too far though, because today we're filming in an open area, and so I don't want him to get too far away from me because I don't know what's around that other tree, or I don't know what dog's going to come out of the other side of the park. So I want him to have a little bit of freedom, but not so much freedom. If we were out on the trail hiking or in a big wide open field, I might use this leash. And this, as you can tell by the jumble, how much jumble there is, this is a good 20 or 30 foot leash. So when I put this on Tango, really he's free to go to the end of this leash. It gives him 30 feet on that end, 30 feet on that end. It's a good 60 feet of freedom that he's got, but I don't have to worry about him running off or getting lost. I still have the other end of the leash. So I like this 60 or 30 footer so that he can have 60 feet of freedom when we are not going to run into any other dogs or any other people, because this leash, if you're going to be around other people, can be a hazard. It can trip other people. It can get your dog hung up. So you use this really when you're out in big wide open spaces. When I'm in tight quarters, I like to use an even shorter leash. This is a little short leash. I like this leash. You can see how much less space he has to wander now. He really doesn't have any wander room at all. So I would use this when we're in town, when we are in a crowded area. I would switch to this leash, if I'm at the soccer plex watching the kids play soccer, when the game's over and all the kids are come running. I don't need him on a longer leash. I need him to be this close to me so that nobody can run through the leash. He's situated where I need him to be. I also like the shorter leashes if you're going to teach loose leash walking. If you give your dog 6 feet of room, they'll probably take it. And you don't want them, when they're learning loose leash walking, you want really them to get all their rewards coming right here, when they're real close to you. Then that just creates the pattern that they want to be next to you. And having them on a short leash really helps with that. The one leash that I don't use very often at all is the flexi, right? And the flexi is the one where the dog actually has to pull on the leash to get it to get longer. It's a nice long leash, that's for sure. And sometimes I will use the flexi, but I have it wound all the way out so that my dog has lots and lots of room, but I don't let it retract back and forth. And the reason is, I'll show you real quick, is that you can see at all times when my dog has this leash on, the whole time he's got it on, look at his collar. It's always tight. And if I want a dog to learn to walk in a loose collar, which means a loose leash, this flexi lead will never teach him that. He's always going to learn that to go anywhere he has to pull. You can see, and I'm not pulling on that. I can even retract it in. That's just the standard pull that you've got on this. I don't want my dog learning that the collar should always be tight for him to move forward. So I rarely use the flexi leash. I typically will use the 6-footer or the shorter one when we're in tight spaces. So hopefully this has helped you sort of figure out what leash to use and when and what purposes. And if you're really struggling with a loose leash walking problem, your dog pulls on leash, avoid the flexi leash because it's really not helping the problem. For more fast and fun dog training ideas, check out smartdoguniversity.com and please leave a comment below.